Factually inaccurate.
Morally correct. This is Babylon Bee Radio. Our top story. In a press conference, interim D.C. Police Chief Ashan Benedict said that while they have top investigators on the case, they may never know exactly who left a bag of cocaine labeled "Property of H. Biden" in the White House while Hunter Biden was there.
Listen, this is a difficult case to solve. The initial H could be anyone. Hank, Herman, Harry. The possibilities are endless. We will do our best to solve this, but we need the American people to know that this extraordinarily difficult case might just be unsolvable forever.
Sources close to the case confirmed that police had planned to dust for fingerprints, but they accidentally lost their fingerprinting kit. They were then going to review security footage of the room where the hard drugs were found, but the tapes for that time period accidentally fell into a bucket of hydrochloric acid and were ruined. DNA tests also proved fruitless, as almost all of the DNA found in the White House belongs to Bill Clinton.
This is a case that may haunt me for the rest of my life,
said lead detective Frank Drebin as several laser dots appeared on his forehead.
I'm completely stumped here. I really hate to see the bad guys get away like that.
At airtime, the D.C. police had also lamented the unsolvable case of a dead hooker they just found buried in the Rose Garden. In a thrilling viral television moment, MSNBC host Rachel Maddow snorted a line of cocaine on air to prove to the world that it's a completely natural substance and no big deal at all.
MAGA Republicans are losing their minds over coke being found in the White House, and they really just need to calm down. This is a completely common and harmless substance that lots of presidential administrations have taken to increase their performance. YOLO, folks!
Sources say she then blew through her entire lineup on the economy, reproductive rights, and LGBTQ protests in the next 60 seconds, followed by unscripted rants about DeSantis, foreign terrorism, Indiana Jones, extraterrestrials, inflation, Ukraine, climate change, junk fees, monkeypox, and...
Woo!
Hunter Biden was later seen on set under Maddow's desk, attempting to snort the leftovers. Emperor Palpatine was said to be very pleased with the latest ballistics report on stormtrooper marksmanship, as the Imperial Army's collective accuracy percentage improved dramatically after adding pistol braces to all blasters.
Good. The pitiful rebellion stands no chance now that we have implemented the use of pistol braces. Death Stars will no longer be necessary. Each and every stormtrooper is now an ultimate weapon of deadly force. My control over the galaxy is now complete.
Sources within the Rebel Alliance expressed grave concern over this new wave of Imperial deadliness.
Even though we've always been outnumbered and technologically outmatched, we've always been able to rely on the stormtroopers not being able to hit the broadside of a bantha,
said General Crix Medine in an encrypted holoprojection.
With these pistol braces being used, I'm afraid it's only a matter of time before we get wiped out. We're no match for pistol braces.
The ragtag group of rebels has scored a surprising number of victories in various skirmishes throughout the galaxy, but even its greatest heroes acknowledged the pistol braces put them at too great of a disadvantage.
Even the Force is powerless to repel firepower of that magnitude,
said Jedi Luke Skywalker.
I can lift boulders the size of a Star Cruiser, and I've mastered lightsaber combat, but expecting us to go up against pistol braces on blasters is asking the impossible.
Though the Rebel Alliance was rumored to be scouring the galaxy in a desperate attempt to obtain pistol braces of their own, an Imperial victory was all but guaranteed after the Emperor banned the braces for civilian use. Actor Ezra Miller has been traveling house to house threatening families to see The Flash, witnesses claim. Authorities are advising residents of Bennington County to lock their doors and, if approached, to contact police immediately.
A song and dance man, he is not.
Warned Sheriff Clarence Craw.
Miller attempts to lure families out of the house with promises of Michael Keaton, but then subjects victims to his own acting abilities. This is classic Predator behavior.
The Predator's agent downplayed the reports.
Actors are better than normal people and can do whatever they want.
The Flash actor was last seen choking out a humble farmer who criticized his performance as Credence Barebone in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them as two-dimensional.
How dare you!
The actor then allegedly groomed the farmer's children for a trip to the movies. Hollywood critics, actors, and producers are reportedly confused by Sound of Freedom, an action thriller produced by Angel Studios and starring Jim Caviezel, because it depicts child sex trafficking as a bad thing. Critics have been giving the film poor reviews, citing the filmmaker's, quote, baffling decision to take a stance against the practice, with the New York Times slamming the movie for, quote, not having enough kink.
It's just confusing,
said one director.
You go through all this trouble to make a film about child sex trafficking, and then you end up making the traffickers out to be the bad guys? Such a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I guess I don't get it either.
Said Ezra Miller, they, them.
You're not supposed to kidnap people, or is it like frowned upon? Was that wrong? Should I not have done that? I don't. I'm the Flash.
Even President Biden slammed the film.
It's a far-right extremist domestic terrorist act. I'm calling on Congress to pass common sense Mormon film control. Lafrengar Houston.
The state of California has officially outlawed speaking Spanish over the language's bigoted use of exclusively masculine or feminine nouns.
The entire Spanish language is literally transphobic hate speech.
Explained Governor Gavin Newsom.
Hate has no home here.
According to sources, Governor Newsom discovered the Spanish language's use of gendered terminology when attempting to learn how to accuse his housekeeper of stealing his AirPods.
I was absolutely sickened to discover that the entire language is built around words being gendered as either male or female. Not only did Juanita steal my AirPods, she insisted on speaking this intolerant language in my home. Adios, Anita. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to find a new Latinx housekeeper who will never speak Spanish in my presence.
The California government has dispatched troopers across the state to enforce the ban, starting with notorious offenders like Castillo's Mexican restaurant.
Kitchens like these are hotbeds of transphobic hate speech. The worst part is, if you don't let them use Spanish, they won't even speak at all. Like, hello, there are other languages out there that aren't so transphobic. Oh man, I better not have heard someone just roll an R. Was that you, Julio?
San Francisco leaders have reiterated that the city will still act as a sanctuary city for illegal immigrants, provided that they do not speak Spanish. Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield, founders of the popular ice cream company Ben & Jerry's, are calling for the return of all Native American land in the country to its original dead owners. To promote their new initiative, they announced a new limited-time offer that will allow indigenous people to exchange one white scalp for a pint of Chunky Monkey.
At any one of our 205 locations, we invite our Native American friends to bring in one scalp from a pale-faced colonizer to trade for a sweet treat. This promotion will continue until all Native American lands have been returned. Except, of course, for the lands on which our 205 locations reside, obviously. That's a no-brainer. Otherwise, we'd be out of business.
Indigenous peoples are being encouraged to collect as many gruesome trophies as they want, although Ben reiterated that they have a strict limit of one scalp per person per visit.
This is our humble way of facilitating some reparations for past injustices. Because we're good liberals, and that's what good liberals do. I want to re-emphasize how good we are. We're really good people. So good.
Ben & Jerry later agreed to give back the ancestral lands of their store locations in exchange for having a new location in every casino. Mark Zuckerberg's thriving tech company Meta has announced an exciting and innovative new social media app called Threads, which combines all the things you hate about Twitter with everything you hate about Instagram.
After years of research, our engineers have created a revolution in social media technology. A Twitter clone on Instagram that offers the absolute worst of both worlds.
Said a VR headset wearing Zuckerberg in an address to dozens of friends in the Metaverse.
At long last, you can read caustic, hot takes written by talentless idiots, while still enjoying oppressive censorship and sepia-toned thirst traps from yoga pants models with obnoxious lip injections. You're welcome. I'm a human.
At the announcement, dozens of Metaverse avatars clapped, although it wasn't entirely clear whether they were clapping or glitching. Sources say the thrilling new app is indistinguishable from Twitter, except that it has fewer users, more censorship, and increased data mining. Meta stock tanked after it was revealed that Threads misinformation administrators had already banned every single user except for Dr. Fauci and Ellen DeGeneres. With a wedding hanging in the balance after running out of booze, Satan stepped up to miraculously turn water into Bud Light.
Wow, thanks, Satan. Can you pour a glass for my husband? It's warm.
According to sources, the wedding guests asked Satan for some nice wine or whiskey, but he informed the crowd that all he could do was Bud Light.
You people forget, I can't make good things. I can only twist what's good into evil. Like I can put songs to auto-tune or make Ryan Seacrest host a fun game show. Now, who's ready for a lukewarm Bud Light?
The father of lies was reportedly alerted to the drink shortage by a highly intoxicated bridesmaid named Ashley.
OMG, I never do this, but could you buy me a drink? The way you're surrounded by smoke and flames, you're so different from everyone else at this wedding.
I'm so sorry.
Wait, they're out of drinks? Ugh, get away from me, you creep.
Satan then announced that if anyone was hungry, he could turn this basket of bread into some Taco Bell volcano tacos. 3 hours and several cups of coffee later, Sarah Cochran deeply regretted asking her husband Mark why those little guys didn't just fly the Eagles to Mordor.
Okay, for starters, they aren't little guys, they're hobbits. And that wouldn't even make sense. Did you not see the lidless eye? It would have seen a bunch of giant eagles coming. You know what? Let's start over from the beginning.
According to onlookers, Mr. Cochran initially began by recreating from memory a map of Middle-earth on a nearby napkin.
Yeah, that guy's, he's pretty passionate about eagles.
Said patron Steve Ritter.
Poor lady had no clue what she got herself into. But still, it's a ridiculous question. The power of the ring was ultimately destroyed by Frodo's act of mercy, which never would have been possible without Gollum. Let me explain. You have a few minutes?
While generally a good sport about such tangents, Mrs. Cochran admitted she contemplated escaping to the bathroom to pull the fire alarm.
2 hours in, I used a tablecloth to tie a tourniquet around my leg just to feel something. By the third hour, I had lost all hope. I probably felt something like the little Fro something and his friend when they had walked forever and they were just still so far from Mount Boom. I wish I could have called an eagle.
At airtime, Mr. Cochran and Mr. Ritter were entering their 7th hour of discussion over what would have happened had Frodo attempted to remain in the Shire. B-Radio features officially curated content from the Babylon Bee, scripted, voiced, and produced by Austin Robertson. Additional voices in this episode from Bettina, Brandon, Jarrett, Kristen, Robin, and Travis. Please subscribe, rate, and review B-Radio on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or wherever you get your podcasts.